welcome to another episode. Oh, I guess it's not Road to Oro anymore because that didn't go as expected. So we won't be making it to the Olympia. But today, I'm going to be taking y'all through a gym vlog and telling you about what the plans are for the rest of the season, what phase I'm in, and what the plans are for 2026. I'm also going to be talking about my current cycle. Right now, I'm consuming my pre-workout meal here at the gym. Chicken breast, veggies, and potato. Today, we are training back, bis, delts, and some abs. I do my abs and calves usually in the morning fasted, so that's already covered. So basically, we're doing back, bis, delts. Currently, we're basically growing, and we'll see where that takes us. How soon we can grow to where it's sufficient that we can potentially move into a prep. However, I'm not aiming for a prep to qualify in 2025 anymore. I don't even think that would be that possible anymore, since September would be the last deadline for that. And I honestly don't want to push a prep because of how long our competition season was. I did 4 shows back to back. In between, my wife turned pro, which was amazing. And it was honestly my motivation for the last one. A lot of people are asking what the feedback was from this past competition. Essentially, what I got out of it is I got to get my upper body to grow. That's my take on it. I prefer to begin here in the morning and not have to deal with, unavailable machines. I like to just zone in, get the workout done out of the way. Plus, I prefer doing that and having the rest of the day to do whatever the heck I want. So we'll be starting with a C-bar bent over row. I love this piece because of how you can load it. Whenever you have a Smith bent over row, you always compromise your lower back. So having something like this to use definitely takes away from compromising lower back and potentially hurting it, and also allowing you for a deeper stretch, in my opinion. Good warm-up set there. I don't normally take more than 1 or 2 warm-up sets. Also, because of us training at a hot gym, we don't have AC in here, so in the summertime. So I think it's like 85 right now, 80, something like that. So I'm already pretty warmed up, especially because I usually walk pre-workout. And sure, you want to stretch and contract the muscles a little bit in the fashion that you're going to be also training them prior to starting to train them in your working sets at least. So essentially, that's what I'm doing here. The first couple sets are just me warming up the muscles, getting it primed. Now I'm about to work into my working sets. First working set is out of the way. If you guys don't use the training tracker, I always recommend doing so, whether that's through you using a notebook or using a Google sheet like I do. Google sheet? Yeah. Tongue twister, but I basically use a Google sheet and I'm basically logging my numbers from a week-to-week basis. In most cases, people think that they're surpassing the volume by adding more weight to whatever they think they did last week. The problem with that is you don't remember exactly what you did. So in most cases, you're doing either the same or less. So the cool thing about this actual tracking method, whether it's the sheets again or a notebook, that you can actually accurately surpass your volumes from week to week. Moving on to the second movement of the day, this is going to be a mid-upper back row. Basically pulling a little higher. I like to use almost like a neutral grip. It's kind of in between, because I feel like I get a better stretch that direction, right? When the wrist is in a more natural position. What the current growth cycle looks like. So mainly, as I've listed in the past on my Instagram, I mainly use DHTs and then a base testosterone. My test is at 500, Puma's at 500, my max is at 1,000. So a 2 gram total for the week. In addition to that, I'm utilizing currently 8 IU of GH generic daily as well. And the growth we're seeing, I believe, is more than sufficient for the dosages that we're using. Also the conditioning, as you'll see from, I'm gonna put up my physique update here. So you'll see that composition is still holding up very nicely post-show. And I also believe with its dosages and the amount of calories we're consuming, we're not allowing that to spill over, that body fat to increase to the point where it's unacceptable and we're having insulin resistance. However, we're still going to be applying a ton of phase fishing and the health base, even though my blood markers are great and even though body fat percentages are good. I believe it's good to resensitize the insulin receptors and in general resensitize your insulin and how you process food. Even the androgen receptors being exposed to the androgens for so long can potentially cause you to downregulate the way that you're utilizing it. We're aiming to make sure that we are healthy, that's the priority, and that we're growing at a very good rate while we're maintaining good body fat percentages, so prep won't be that difficult. Plus, I enjoy looking good, feeling good, so I don't want to be fluffy and hard to put my socks on and things like that. One thing I also apply that helps me stay leaner throughout the off season, instead of always pushing for doing higher cardio, I try to get a specific step goal on a daily basis. So for me, that step goal currently is 12,000 steps, and I try to get steps between sets. So when I take a break, obviously now I'm talking on the camera, but when I take a break, what I normally do is take a couple of laps around the machine that I'm doing, get a couple more steps in that way instead of just sitting down on my phone. Being efficient and staying active is very important. That way you also don't have to do a ton of cardio. I'm gonna step and walk. I'm gonna multitask. One thing that I often see with people working out, initially, they'll start very strong with the form, good tempo, good range of motion, great execution. But then that starts dissipating because they want to start beating their numbers. So what ends up happening is they sacrifice form to get the heavier weight. So if you're training, especially bodybuilding training, your form shouldn't change from rep 1 to your last rep, or rep 1 to rep 12. Tempo should stay the same, range of motion should stay the same, and also the pauses should stay the same as well if you're applying pauses, which I definitely recommend you should. I don't know if you guys are like me, but there's movements that I really like using straps with, like a bent over row or the strap that we used earlier. And there's movements like this where straps are just hard to put on and I don't find too much of a benefit utilizing. Now that might be because my fatigue is lower because I use the straps on movements number 1 and 2, and this is movement number 4. But with this specific movement, I just find it hard to use straps. Last movement of the day here. I used to say last set is the best set, but last exercise the best exercise. I only get one bicep movement a week, so I try to give it my all, and I really enjoy training on. So last exercise, best exercise. And that is a wrap. Please like, subscribe, and comment, because I would like to make these more. So you guys let me know if you like them. I'm out.